Good evening, lovely tubers. White Mexican back in for another quick video today. I just wanted to go over a few cards here, and then there's going to be kind of a change up at the end here. Starting off, I want to go over some X-Saber stuff. So I never got the chance to play this deck. This deck was before my time. I played with the original core sets when the game first came out, the early 2000s era, and then I took a really big break and then got back into the game after graduating high school back in 2011. So I kind of missed this era and this deck, or there was a couple people running around with it when I first came back in 2011. But a really awesome deck, a really old school deck, and from what I'm told, it's a really old school popular deck as well. A lot of players like this deck. I just want to go over this card really quick. Of course, there's an ultimate rare version of this card, which I kind of was going to go over, but it's kind of expensive right now. I mean, I actually just picked up two Unlimiteds for around $5 each, and then the first one I got was a first edition for $7. I was really lucky on that one. Currently, specifically why I didn't really want to go over the Ultra Rare is because there's no first editions on the market, but there is plenty of Unlimiteds, and they're about $5 or $6. They quickly move up after that. I know I snatched two for $5. So I got my playset, but I wanted to talk about the ultra rare because this is the second best rarity. There's a couple very super ultra commons, whatever have you, but this is still a first edition original print, and they're literally like well under $1, even for the first editions. There's 2 for 61 here, and there's a couple different pages. So I think this is really cheap right now. It's kind of, I mean, you can still get the ultimate, it's still there, but just harder to get now because it's ultimate, it's old, and it's kind of just, the well's starting to dry. But for $1 for the first edition for this ultra, I think that's really awesome. Moving on here for X-Saber Gotham's. Okay, so this is an ultimate rare. This is like their boss synchro. It's a really old school card from Ancient Prophecy in Shining Darkness. These are all going to be old sets. And it's $3 right now. $3 for an unlimited. I know I picked up my playset for $9. The first editions are still obtainable, but they're relatively, well, not too expensive. Actually, the first edition here this one's really cheap, and this must be a new one. I bought mine like last week, but so there's one for here for like about $5. So you can get a first edition right here for $5, which is pretty incredible for an ultimate rare for a boss synchro like this from a really popular old school deck. And then it gets around 6 over here. So anyway, I think that's pretty cheap. That is attainable. I personally got unlimited for 3s, so I wanted max rarity, but it's not like bust max rarity where everything's like first edition. I didn't want to, like I said, I'm not super familiar with this deck. I kind of know like a little bit about it, and I just really like it, and I kind of like the ideals behind it. So I also got this guy as well. I don't remember how much I paid for the ultimate ones of these, but I just wanted to quickly go over that really quick because I know I've kind of gotten of late into buying and kind of investing in deck cores, and this is one of the deck cores that I'm investing in, so it's up to you. Moving on, another deck core that I invested in was Dragoonity, and specifically this card because it's dual terminal and it's a rare dual terminal, and I just think it has a really universal effect. If you just read the effect right here, it can be pretty much used in any kind of dragon deck. Any kind of dragon deck that wants to push, I mean, every pretty much dragon deck wants to push things into the grave. And you can send any level 3 by just if it's summoned, like any kind of summon, normal summon or special summon. So I think it's really awesome for what it is. I think it's very universal, very diverse for any kind of dragon support, and it's dual terminal. And it's a Dragoonity card, which is also another really popular old school deck. So I know this is another deck core that I'm investing in, but more for universal matter, I think that the Dragoonity Tribus is pretty awesome. And it's super cheap right now, which is, also a good thing. Moving on, another dual terminal card, Hero Merges. I know it sounds kind of crazy. This is a really old school card, and I don't think this has ever really seen play, or at least I haven't seen it ever really see play. But I think it's a really underrated card. It's a really old school card. There's a lot of different common versions. This is a common too, but not really because it is dual terminal. If you read the effect here, I think it's just not like. I know there's got to be some kind of stipulation about what monsters you can special summon if certain monsters have like special summoning conditions or whatnot. I mean, I get that, but for what it is, I think it's a pretty cool card, and it's super cheap right now, and it's just super old school and nostalgic. and I just really like the effect for what it is. So, I mean, for the price, I know I invested in this card. I got quite a few, but it's just a card I wanted to showcase on here really quick. And unfortunately, there's not a picture here. I'm specifically looking at this card. I'll show you a picture here from the other versions. They're all just crappy commons, so you're not going to really want to worry about this card. But this one's Possessed Dark Soul. Of course, you want to go with the highest rarity, which is going to be the Starfoil Rare here. Unfortunately, they haven't printed this card in holofoil yet, which is really unfortunate because I think this card is pretty good depending on what your matchup is. It's a really underrated card. No one's ever really played this card ever, to my knowledge. If you read its effect, it's pretty blowout depending on what you're playing, like I said before. But it's really cheap and super unnoticed, and it is a Dark Fiend level 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so I'm a big avid Dark World player, so it kind of meshes in with that. I don't know, maybe if you're a Burning Abyss player, but I just wanted to kind of put that out there. I just like to put random cards out that, you know, I feel no one really talks about. Another card here is Big Burn. There's two versions of this card, super rare on both versions from Dark Revelations and the Invasion of Chaos. I would personally get the Invasion of Chaos because I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, Dark Revelations do not have first edition prints. They're all unlimited, which is, I mean, it's cool. I know a lot of people like those reprint sets, but I would personally get the Invasion Chaos because they do have the first edition prints, and this is a really, really awesome, nostalgic, old school set. BLS and Chaos Emperor Dragon originally came from this set, and it's just a really, really popular set, really old school, nice set. This card is Blowout, though. It's kind of situational. There is a situational stipulation of activating this card, but there's plenty of things that target in the graveyard nowadays, and this card is just Blowout. It is a trap card, and it's a normal trap card, so it's a little bit slower. But if you can pull it off, this is just a really blowout. This could be really detrimental. All monsters from the graveyard get removed from play. So, and you know, it's an old school super rare, and it's really cheap right now. I mean, there's 2 for 46 right now, first edition. Of course, you're always going to want to get first edition on this, especially since it's such a cheap card. Moving on, and there's plenty in the market. There's plenty of first editions here. You might want to just tack these on to maybe something if you want to get up past the $2 point here. There's 4 here for 67. So I got a couple of these, and I just think it's a really good card. So maybe take a look at that. Moving on, DD Crow. I know there's a lot of people talking about DD Crow right now, and with, you know, the different big games have passed through the last couple weeks, there's been, you know, a lot of play of DD Crow. DD Crow has always kind of been, you know, a hand trap that comes in and out of the meta, just like Effect Veiler, just one of those old school hand trap cards. Unfortunately, I missed a ball on DD Crow Dual Terminal. This was literally like under $1. It was like 90 cents, like $1.05. It was super cheap. There's tons of walls. There was a lot of availability of this card, and now it's pretty much bought out. There's really not a lot. This is personally probably my second favorite version. The Ultimate Rare is super nice, but it's ridiculously expensive and not really achievable anymore to me or attainable. My least favorite is probably this Ultra Rare. I really don't like I don't know, I don't like the way that card was printed. But I really like the super rares a lot. I know I have a play set, if not, I think a little bit more of the supers, I think from this one, from the Legendary Collection 2, which I really like. I'm personally holding on to my supers, but I am, you know, even like if you look at here, like the rares from the original, like not even first edition, they're like $3 plus. So if people are willing to buy these, I know it's kind of like a hype train right now because this is seeing some popular play, but I would sell your DD Crows because, I mean, obviously keep a playset for yourself, but there's plenty to sell. Moving on here, so this is a card. This is going off like the OCG kind of information here for Dark Neostorm. You can see the print here. So hopefully we get this card. Hopefully nothing changes when it gets converted from the Japanese OCG to the TCG here for us. I think this card's super blowout. This card mostly comes from fame from like chain burn decks and a lot of burn decks that don't really use monsters. If you read this effect here though, this card is just literally so blowout. I actually ran into this card when I was playing on my Yugioh Pro here, and randomly popped up and my opponent was playing chain burn and he whipped this out. I mean, I was just super impressed by this card. Now I know this isn't a very I guess universal card. Not every deck obviously can use this because it could definitely hurt you depending on what you're playing. But I think there's a lot of rogue decks out there that don't really utilize certain aspects of the game that can really use this card to full advantage, and it's just so blowout. I think when I was playing this against the Chainburn guy, I don't remember what I was playing. I think I might have been playing um, Herald of Perfection or something. I can't remember, but it was really tough to get around this card at first because after that initial play, he actually misplayed because I ended up it was a really long grind, and I ended up evenly matching him, and I think he kind of misclicked because he ended up removing this card, which was kind of like what lost him the game. But anyway, I'm really excited for this card. I'm really hoping that it does come out and a secret rare. I know it sounds kind of crazy because it's going to be more expensive, but I just think this card is really blowout, and for its power, I think it definitely needs to be a secret rare. So I just kind of wanted to mention that really quick. Moving on to eBay. So this seller right here, this is seller page. This seller is really pretty awesome. It is a China-based seller, which kind of sucks for like time purposes. It takes forever for things to come in, but he has some really, really killer mats. Some really awesome Yu-Gi-Oh mats. I know I've purchased from him several different times, and it is from China. It's super, super long to get shipped in. I don't know if it's different for the States. I've been overseas for the last couple of years, so usually they send it to the United States, and then they send it over to my military installations, which is maybe why it takes so long for me. But the quality's really, really good. Um, I can show you some pictures here. There's like tons and tons and tons. You can see he has so many different mats, like over 3,000 mats here. I just typed in Yu-Gi-Oh! And all this different stuff comes up. The majority of them are kind of, it's a plethora of different like animes and Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic and Pokemon and a whole bunch of other different games. But you can kind of search through here, and there's definitely a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Content on here for mats. And I'm not going to really go through all these because, like I said, it's like 3,000 mats. It's crazy. But I am going to show you, you're going to kind of take a peek here at my watch list here on eBay. But some of the stuff I saved on my watch list that I have purchased or I'm thinking about purchasing. I personally have bought this mat. I think this is a really, really awesome mat. And again, even though this is a Chinese seller and you kind of think of cheap, crappy quality, at least I do when I think of like Chinese stuff, it's super awesome. It has the Japanese original artwork of Dark Magician Girl kind of augmented. She has the black suit on. It has the black magic star and then the bust on the chest, which is super awesome. So a full original artwork on here with the black armor, looking really awesome. I know I personally bought 2 of these, and it's, like I said, it's kind of expensive. It's 27 per mat, but it's kind of not, because like for what it is, like their normal size, maybe like just a smidgen smaller than I guess the standard size mats, but they're pretty big. Like you can barely tell. The quality's really good. The picture is not blurry. It's really crisp, and it's a really cool mat. There's also, this mat's pretty cool. They have the Beat Cop, which is pretty cool. I think I got a couple more saved on here. But anyway, if you want to go to that seller, oh yeah, a couple of weeks ago I made a video about the dual power stuff for the pre-sales, and they're really cheap and they're completely sold out now, so it's kind of interesting. Anyway, so I'll go back to that seller again really quick, and this is the seller right here. Right here. Anyway, maybe I can put a link or something that is based in China, but really good quality. So even though it's a Chinese base, it's actually really, really good quality. So if you want a cool mat, there's a lot of custom stuff in there, so I would look for that. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and we'll catch you in the next video.